Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about Insta360 X3. So let's dive right into it. Now X3, as it is in the name, is Mark III of successful lineup of 360-degree cameras. Now Insta360 is a company that started with 360 cameras, and that was their unique selling point. They were not competing against GoPros or DJIs, but they were like, okay, 360 is my jam, and they became good at it. And this is like third iteration of it. And it's not whoa kind of upgrade where it's like, the last one was garbage, this one is amazing. It was like more of a, like, they took feedbacks. They were like, okay, what does the public complain about Mark II? Okay, let's fix that. It was more of a iterative design upgrade. Sensor had been made a bit bigger, from little bit smaller to little bit bigger to like two of one half an inch sensors, 48 megapixel, and it does have AI based editing, and that's the whole point of Insta360 ecosystem. They are not just focused on making hardware. They actually inherently understand the fact that making hardware is easy. Sony can make it, Canon can make it, Nikon can make it. That's the easy part. The hard part is somehow you take a equipment that can do things to make it a useful thing that people can utilize as quickly as possible. So using AI based editing, and even if you have to process a 360-degree file, they want to work their ass off to make sure that you can just publish the file. You can just like, hey, you have 360 file, you want to upload it to Instagram, here's the vertical videos. You want to upload it to YouTube, horizontal video. You don't have to think too much about it because it's a 360 video. You don't have to worry about it. So that sort of thing, that AI integration in terms of auto editing, in terms of auto framing, all that jazz makes it very easy to use. You shoot, you publish, the end. You don't spend too much time into it. It can do 5.7K 360-degree capture, which may sound a lot, and it is true. Like 4K is really good for 16:9, but for 360, 5.7K is very limited. However, most likely it's done simply because of processor limitation or the fact of cost limitation. They could maybe add like 8K or 16K, but problem would be, do you have the oomph, the computational oomph to process it in cheaply enough, which I don't think right now we are there yet. So 5.7K it is, and it can do 4K normal action camera sort of with image stabilization, meaning if you only want to use it as an action camera, let's say you have a body mounted it or a helmet mounted, some scenario where you do not need that 360, you can make it into a quality 4K camera which has better image stabilization than most, simply because it's a 360. So it can do really good horizon lock. That's the X3. So this is the Mark II and this is the Mark III, and you can see like hardware wise there's not that much difference, and that's the whole point. The whole point of this company was like polishing the equipment, not changing it dramatically. Just like, let's polish it. So it has a bigger and better touchscreen, which I'm reasonably sure of the fact that it has that circular screen. I don't think Insta360 was back then a big enough company that they can order bulk load. I'm pretty sure it was just like some layover from some failed smartphone order, smartwatch order. But again, this time at least they have listened to the public. It's like, dude, just you have so much space. How about you give a good screen? And not only that, the screen is there. It's really good in touch screen interface, and somebody spent a time. As in, you look at its menu and it's like, huh, somebody actually spent time. Can I click the icons? Is the icon big enough? Can I swipe it easily efficient? Like, it's one of those things where like that extra touch actually makes your hardware much easier to use. So it's really good. Bit bigger battery, 1800 milliamp hour. That's a desirable thing, but it does come with the consequences, meaning if you had Mark II and you had a lot of its battery, it will annoy you that you cannot use Mark II battery into Mark III. And again, some people are used to it, some people are not used to it. That's up to you, depending how much money you have sunk into Mark II batteries. It does have active HDR. Now be mindful, this HDR is for publish kind of HDR. It does work, it is a good system, but it's not IMAX kind of quality, obviously. And you could be able to get more oomph out of it on your own. However, this is one of those scenarios like shoot, publish. Don't spend too much thinking about it. So that, in that way, HDR is really good for bright displays. 8K time lapse, again, is just taking a full 360-degree spin shots and just stitching it into a 8K video file. Now, the amazing aspect of it, because it's a 8K, you can frame in as quickly, as tightly as possible. So meaning you can zoom in. You can have a time lapse, which is a static time lapse, meaning you put the camera in one spot and you took the time lapse, but you can act in such a way, because you have like whole pan, shift, tilt, all that jazz. It will look like a very dynamic screenshots of time lapse. So that's a desirable thing. 4K 120 fps, last variant can only go to 100 fps, only go to 50 hertz, hertz as in like frequency, fps. Now it can go to 60, so it can now do 120 bullet time. Again, it's a desirable function, but that's up to you whether you need it or not. So it's basically the biggest change is now it's the goddamn useful, meaning you can just give it to anyone else. They will have hard times using this, they will have much easier time using this. That's the biggest change. Yeah, quality improvement is there, ease of use is there, but main thing is this, the screen. So what about the software? Now, this is one thing you have to understand. This company thoroughly understands, like why the heck Canon, Nikon, and Sony, all three, while being such a giant companies, have garbage sales. Literally, their market share, even though like Sony is a small company that randomly now take a. You look at the whole photographic pie, it's like shrinking. Why the heck it's shrinking? Some might say it's because of smartphone. Yeah, that is absolutely true. But it's not only because of size. Majority of that is like because they keep creating garbage hardware. Their hardware has so much horsepower. It's like damn, but none of them have good enough interface, none of them have any ease of use thought into it. Like nobody even, like I'm not joking, you can literally buy modern DSLRs that will not allow you to transfer raw files to your mobile phone. Why? No, I will not allow you. Why? It's like, no, I will not. It's like you literally, even in some Sony cameras, you have to do FTP file transfer wirelessly in order to transfer raw files. Why? And that's one of those things where it's like, having the hardware is the easy part. Making it easy to use, as in intuitive to use, is far more challenging. And somebody has to do it. And that's why this company went from barely anybody talking about it now to becoming like such a large release worldwide stage, because they were focusing on software. And they made many fun modes. For example, this mode, I was like, it took me some time to understand like how amazingly this edge cutting is done. Like this one literally looked as a real thing, long exposure photography, but that was amazing. And AI editing is so goddamn good that it will literally take all your shots, process it, AI will detect where something interesting happened, then clip it, stitch it, give you a full video. Done. Basically, sir, shoot as much as you need to shoot, and then we'll do the editing for you. That's the whole point. It's super well thought out, meaning you have equipment, that's it, done, go home, sweet dreams. It's not like I have equipment, then I have a whole post-processing lineup, and then I'm gonna deliver the files. Again, that's good for content creator, not good for you and me, not for average people. And that's the harsh reality of scenario. You may enjoy like, I'm gonna take a photo, then I'm gonna process the raw file, then I'm gonna give it the amazing result. That is doable once or twice, not something that you can do it day in and day out, unless it's your job. So in those sort of scenarios, this sort of equipment starts to fade out of public perception. And you would have noticed it same thing happening with DSLRs. They literally, like, till very recently, majority of DSLRs did not had USB charging. Why? Just they did not. You could not transfer wireless things, just garbage. So that created a scenario. That friction of use made the amazing hardware garbage. This is completely dependent. The hardware is not that amazing, but the fact that it is so easy to use, most people are carrying it into their, shopping holidays, their tourism, all that jazz. You will find people using this simply because it's so easy to use. And it has external recording with stereo input, which was a direct glitch to some other company that released a system. Very difficult to add microphone into, but even if you added it, it was just like mono. So they're very clever, very clever. They're like listening to the feedback. It's like, hey, let's just add a stereo microphone. Stereo meaning if you have something like this, Rode Wireless Go 2, you can have like a husband, wife, or a couple, and literally having microphone for each of them and then just YOLOing. And that's awesome. That's like somebody sat down, thought about it. And if you use Rode Wireless Go 2, it will be inside the occlusion, so meaning it will not show up in your video recording in 360. It's literally, the frame is designed such a way that it will occlude it, same way it tries to occlude the stick. So a stick, it disappears, same way that will also disappear. It can do raw photo shoot of 72 megapixel. Again, most likely that's a gimmick, simply because if you have 72 megapixel on whole 360 sphere, it should be good enough resolution where you can really crop in, really zoom in. But problem is not the technology, is the optics, as in the glass used there is not high enough resolution. The sensor use is just not high enough. Could you do better? Yeah, you even from this same company, you can buy Insta360 1-inch variant that has 1-inch sensors. It will give you much better resolution, even though it's only, I think, 18 megapixel. Again, that's the whole point of it. Like, do you have optics to, saturate that megapixel? In this scenario, it's mostly done just so you can try to digitally enhance the image. Again, some people will love it, some people will find it just a gimmick. That's up to you. It does have raw file, as in like you can truly edit it. Loop recording for dash cam mode, I'm genuinely surprised. It's like somebody actually listening to the feedbacks. It's like, oh, you want this? Okay, let's add this. Done. Meaning, if you are in India and we do have a lot of road accidents, you may be like, hey, just I'm riding to a new town. I'm just riding a bike. You just put it as a dash cam. Better than nothing. So really well thought out of software implementations. Now, what about its competition? Well, this is one thing you have to understand. This company went from nobody talking about it to every Tom, Dick, and Harry talking about it to having multiple products in their product lineup. Like right now, this is their current product lineup. It's a lot, meaning they're making some serious money back, meaning they're investing and they're getting a lot of money back. And one thing I have to understand, I've covered many of their products, is like they truly focus on USP. They're not just like another action cam. No, no, no. They're like, they're sitting down. They're like, okay, let's think about it. Can we actually do something better? Can we actually like, what's the difference between Osmo Cam and GoPro? Not that much. Like it does have front screen, but is it? That's it. But they are like, what if we make modular action cam? Like think about it. It's like somebody is like sitting about it, thinking about it, processing, and then coming up with an idea. It's really good in terms of their hardware releases. Every hardware they are releasing is directly going against a competition, and competition has this like generic products, and they are like, what if we truly give you unique products? And the close focus on software, that's amazing. Like that's amazing. Like think of it this way, like compare it to the large trio company, even with GoPros and all that jazz. It's like we have a camera, use it, and this company is like, we got you fam, we got you fam. Like for example, GoPros, people want to use it as a webcam. Again, it's a good desire. This company is like, what if we give you a small sensor webcam, but give it on a gimbal? This is a link webcam. Now there are webcams that can do this, but they are thousands of dollars. This company can do it very cheaply. So that's the whole point. It's like somebody thinking about it. What if we do something unique? Every aspect of their product lineup is just like somebody sitting down, thinking about it, processing. Like they have a tiny cameras like GoTo. It's not amazing camera. It does not have long enough battery life for most things, but what it can do, no other company can do. So they are like, people are using it. So truly competitive with GoPros, DJIs, that's awesome. And they are making a steel market fresh again, meaning there is a lot of excitement. Like, there was a serious risk in last few years, and you can go into GoPro website, stock, set it to basically lifetime, and you will notice that GoPro like came out of nowhere, slowly became a big, really big, and then it faded. Like they have never touched that market height again. And again, mobile phone is a very big deal for that. But this company, even in that shrinking market, it's like, we're gonna try our best, and they're making some good progress. They are almost like how Sony literally sliced themselves into between Nikon and Canon. They're like, Nikon and Canon both were stale, and Sony was like, what if we give you something unique? This company is doing the same thing. So I'm really happy, and the fact that they are focusing on software really makes me happy. It's like, don't just give me, oh, 1-inch sensor. Yeah, how do I use it? No, you can't use it. So it's like, yeah, keep it to yourself. So this is really good. This is really allowing whole market to grow. We are getting new products. Of course, it's expensive products, but again, these are not what you call life's essential. These are not mobile phones. You can live without them. So price is similar to like that. For example, like that Link webcam. Again, it's a gimbal webcam. If you need it, you need it. You will pay for it. So uh, that's the side effect, but the fact that we have so many new companies, so many interesting hardware, it's really good for all of us. All of us are benefiting from this. So this was my presentation on Insta360 X3. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.